Hari Om. Being a family person with job and personal life responsibilities, I don't have much time to practice MahaYoga. Is there any way out? So many people who are basically householders had visited Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi with the same kind of question, and Bhagavan has given them a very simple approach to begin with the practice of MahaYoga. So essentially, I will explain two methods which can be put into practice by anyone, because it will take a maximum of 5 to 10 minutes of time in the morning, and again 5 to 10 minutes of time by evening or night. So the first method is to be extremely watchful and vigilant whenever we go to deep sleep. Say by night time when we go to sleep, rather than just going to bed and getting into the state of sleep, we just need to be extremely vigilant and watchful of what exactly is happening within. Just be conscious as much possible, and just being in that 5 to 10 minutes of practice just before going to bed would be of great help. So essentially what we do is we take 5 to 10 minutes of time in the morning, which is best if it can be done just after waking up in the morning, because the moment we wake up in the morning is the time wherein our mind has just came out of deep sleep, and it will still have that tinge of great peace which it had experienced while being in the state of deep sleep. So we need to remind ourselves, to our mind, the kind of happiness it had experienced while in the state of deep sleep, so that mind will understand and try to seek that happiness again and again, rather than going towards worldly objects. So the most important thing would be to take those 5 to 10 minutes of time immediately, to the extent possible immediately after we wake up. So we give this time 5 to 10 minutes of time, and in this time what we do is we just sit in any posture or any manner. We can get seated on the surface or chair or sofa as per our convenience, and just try to relax in a state of being quiet. We are not going to do anything. We don't try to control any thoughts. We don't try to do anything. Only thing we do is, as and when any thoughts rise up, we, being alert and vigilant and watchful, don't join with those rising thoughts, but rather we will not react to any kind of thoughts. So any thoughts arise, we will take note of it, and we will just ignore the thought, and we will just keep quiet. By ignoring the thoughts and keeping quiet, what will happen is that any of those rising thoughts will go away of its own accord, and we shall remain in the state of peace again, peace and quietness. So we don't expect anything to happen. We don't do anything. We don't control our thoughts, and we will just be in the state of total peace and quietness. So just by being quiet and being still, what will happen is that our mind will naturally sink into its source, which is the pure I, the Aham, the Atma. So being merged with the state of pure I, the Atman, is what we call as being still, to just be, to turn inward, antarmukam. It is just so simple that we don't really have to do anything, but just keep quiet, relaxed, not to go after any wandering thoughts, and be extremely watchful and vigilant. And once this time is over, we can go on with our normal worldly activities. The effect of this 5 to 10 minutes of time wherein we were just keeping quiet will be there all through the day. Underneath the activities we may be engaged with during the course of the day. So whatever we may be doing, we will still find that state of peace underlying deep within while we are doing our normal daily activities. The link will be there, though it may not be very much felt externally to begin with. Again, by the evening time, which would be better if we can do it just before we go to sleep. Same 5 to 10 minutes of time. Being in the state of peace and happiness and being quiet, not doing anything, but same time being extremely watchful and vigilant and alert to any of the incoming thoughts. As and when they come up, immediately we remain quiet without reacting. We just ignore the thoughts, they will go away. Same thing, 5 to 10 minutes of time, and then we can go to sleep. Now, this is the first method I have just now explained, how we can be for those 5 to 10 minutes of time in the morning and evening. Now, let me explain the second method, which is basically to remain extremely watchful and alert when we go to deep sleep, and likewise while we are about to wake up in the morning from sleep. So when we go to deep sleep, what we do is we are extremely watchful. We just lie down. We don't do anything as such, but we are just trying to be conscious and watchful. What happens is that when we leave one state and go to another state, say when we make the transition from the state of wakefulness to deep sleep, there is a short interval of time wherein we have the experience of the pure I, the presence of Bhagavan, Aham, the state of I am, conscious existence. So being watchful and alert shall give us this opportunity to experience that state of Jagrat Sushupti, wakeful sleep, in those short interval of time. It may happen, it may not happen, but it is very important for us to be extremely watchful and vigilant when we do this transition from wakefulness to deep sleep. In due course of time, one will surely have this experience of being in that interval of time to remain in the state of pure I, Aham, the presence of Bhagavan. Likewise, when we are about to wake up in the morning, again let us not hurry up. Let us just be relaxed and just try to observe our state of mind. Again, there will be a short interval of time wherein we all of us are in the state of Atman, the pure awareness, the presence of Bhagavan, for a short period of time, and after that we kind of transit to the waking state. So in those short moments of time, which is the interval between the state of deep sleep and wakefulness, in that interval we have the opportunity to experience that gap of being in the state of pure I, the presence of Bhagavan. Even if we don't experience that being in the presence of Bhagavan in the short interval of time, to the extent we can be watchful and vigilant, it may be of help for us to, in some way, to consciously transit to the next state. Normally, we are unconscious when we transit from wakefulness to deep sleep, or when we are awake from the state of deep sleep into wakefulness. Normally, we are not conscious. The transition happens, and then only after we awake, we know that we are awakened. And only in the morning time only we understand, okay, I had a good sleep at the night time. We can never be generally aware after we go to the state of deep sleep. So being extremely conscious and watchful will be of immense help to gain this insight of conscious existence, and to experience that short interval or gap of being in the state of pure eye. So once we again wake up in the morning, we go ahead with the practice of 5 to 10 minutes of time, wherein we remain quiet and be still and silent. So these two methods, if anyone can keep up the practice of these two methods every day, 5-10 minutes of time, morning and night time, again being watchful and alert and vigilant when we go to sleep, and likewise when we wake up from sleep in the morning, or even during short naps which we can take during the daytime, also can be of very insightful aid in this practice. So even in those short naps which we can take up during the daytime, we need to be extremely vigilant and watchful, so that we can be conscious when we transit to the state of sleep, and again it is possible to be conscious when we wake up from sleep and get back to the waking state. So these two methods are very helpful, and shall surely give anyone quite an insightful experience of conscious existence, of being in the state of presence of Bhagavan, being in the state of pure eye. If we can experience that gap, or heighten our awareness of being in the state of deep sleep and wakefulness with the practice of these two methods. So I am sure anyone who can practice these two methods, just giving 5-10 minutes of time in the morning and night time, it will surely be of great help to them to raise their level of awareness and conscious existence. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.